Hello guys, welcome again to our channel. So in our last video I shared how we were able to um, get a huge success in our tomato production, and I also put it out there that if you would want me to do a full breakdown of the costs we use to run that particular project, you should let us know in the comment section. And a lot of people uh, asked for a complete breakdown, and in this video I'll be doing justice to that to the best of my ability, and also try as much as I can to make everything clear to everybody. This is Farm with Chris. We hold nothing back. We give it to you raw. We give it to you as it is, unfiltered. If you have issues in our farm, I will tell you what to expect when you have such problems, and we don't sugarcoat anything here on this channel. So if it's your first time coming across this channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also like our videos, and stay tuned because we always drop videos on farm tips, agribusiness. I also talk on businesses sometimes, and also everything that had to do with agriculture. So let us dive right in. So I did a video the last time talking about how we got revenue of over 10.5 million naira on revenue, and I asked the question. I was not able to do a holistic breakdown of what we spent or whatnot, and some people requested that we'll do a complete breakdown of our expenses and the procedures of what we did, and I will be doing that in this video. Without wasting much time, let us go straight. Now I have my book here. This is one of my record books. I always preach to farmers, upcoming farmers, intending farmers. It is important to have a record book, and this is one of my record books. One of this particular book is for raw materials. For raw materials, anything we buy in the farm as raw material, I record them here. We have another book for sales, or the record for sales record. We have another book for that, but this particular one is for our raw materials and what we used, what we buy and what we use in the farm is in this book. So I'll open up to the page where, because you can see all of them are all filled up. So I'll go to the page where we recorded the last project that I talked about, and this is it. You can see all the materials that we all wrote here, all of them. So I will take them one after the other to make you understand how we arrived at what we spent. Now let me put up a disclaimer. First of all, the prices of raw materials may change, because just as you go to the market to sell your product, your farm produce, for instance your pepper, your tomato, your cassava, anything, and when you get to the market there is a change in price, because I said in the last video, vegetable market is very volatile. Materials as well can also be up and down. So at the time of your buying material, it might be way higher than what I said here. So that's just to put it out there that material cost is not fixed. Of course, you know how it is. So first of all, we started off our farm project with site preparation. Site preparation, I will include all the cost, everything. So get your pen and your paper and put them down. In case you want to start up a farm, you should know what you start with, what you get, and also how you go about your work. And please, I always tell people and also advise my mentees, when you watch my videos, I always want you to take out something, because I always give out suggestions and observations and also advice that will make you succeed in your farm. One thing I never do is to buy material in process. What do I mean by material in process? Buying material when work is going on. That is one thing that have helped me in this farming journey. If I want to do a project, I cost the project, what it will take from the beginning of this project till the end of the project. How much will it cost? And I will do a rough estimate and also add some extra miscellaneous funds in case of emergencies. So I will add everything together and I will buy all my materials. Just take for instance that you have caterpillars ravaging your tomato fruits, and you go to the market to go and buy maybe caterpillar force or halacat or any pesticide that you want to get, and coincidentally what you want to buy is not available at the moment. Your tomato will not wait. The caterpillars will not wait for you. They will continue ravaging your farm until that particular treatment you want to buy is available for you to buy, and now you start applying. Before then, they have gone far destroying your farm. So it is important. Or maybe when you want to go and buy your plants like calcium or maybe potassium, you want to now use a micronutrient like calcium nitrate, and you don't even have funds at that time to get that micronutrient like calcium. What do you do? So it is important. What I do is to do a quotation, and I'll get everything I need for that particular production, that production batch. I'll buy them and keep and start using them as the work goes on, so that anything I don't get stranded along the line. I hope you get that particular point. Now let us go back to what I was saying before. So we started off this project with number one, site preparation. You cannot plant on an unprepared site, of course. So number one, we had the land cleared, and land clearing for labor, it also varies from your location. It varies from the people that you use, that is the personnel that you use for clearing. For us, we use laborers. We use laborers to clear our site, and for that site we used as at then we used about 180,000 to clear, 180,000 to clear, and we now did stumping. We did stumping, and we used around 60,000 to do stumping because of some roots that are there. We did stumping as well because they will charge you for clearing. If you add clearing and stumping together, we're looking at around 240,000 for just the clearing of the place. Okay, now if they clear it, they will do parking as well. So everything joined together, we spend around 240, 260 thereabout to keep our site cleared and open for us to start making the ridges. Now, after site clearing, just get your pen and paper and be writing these things down. After site clearing, we now move ahead to start making our ridges, because you can't plant and make, especially when you are planting tomato or pepper or any other thing, you must make your ridges. So we'll start making our ridges, and our ridges, now the cost of ridging as well also changes as well. Now what they use for a ridge, for now in my location, is 100 naira per meter. Per meter of ridge is 100 naira. So on our farm we had about 40 meter length ridges, double ridge, 40 meter length, double ridge. So we spent, for ridges we spent around 540,000 to do our ridges. Now we spent an extra 50,000 for labor, for manual application, and also putting daps in the holes where we want to plant. So in all, both ridging, application of manure and dap cost around 600,000. Now this is also peculiar to the size of your farm. I'm talking based on the size of our own project. Okay, now 600,000 for ridges, manual application, and dap application. Now it might also vary from your location. Okay, now after doing our ridges, we now start our drip irrigation installation. You have to install your drips, both the main line, the drip tapes, the end lock, the connectors, because we don't depend, it's not rain fed, it is irrigation. So we have to set up our drip lines and make sure they are very okay, they are all working fine before we even start thinking of transplanting. Okay, so we set up our, now the cost of drip materials for the size of land where we worked. The cost of drip material, we spent around 1.6 million to 1.7 million, because I think I have a figure here for drip materials. Please, I'm trying to look down to see so that I don't make mistakes. The drip tapes, connectors, packs of a end cap, packs of joiner, and a venturi is important. Venturi for fertilizer applications. And we also got lay flat and also filter that will help us filter materials when we are sending fertilizers. So it will filter the particles so that they don't block the drip tapes. Okay, so we also got filter. So we spent around 1.6 million getting the materials. All right, and if you are not, of course, you just started farming, you don't know how to run installations, you need an expert that will do your installations for you, because it requires, it's a technical aspect of that work. You need to know the flow of water. There are some plumbing work that you also need to do, connection of ventures and all that will also cost you money. Okay, so you include them in your cost as well. So for setups, for setting up drip installation for 1 hectare will cost you around 250,000 to set up a drip irrigation for 1 hectare. So looking at it now, we spend like 1.85 to 1.9 on installations and drip materials. Okay, and there are some other materials for that drip. Okay, if you now add the cost of plumbing materials like the plain sockets, the pipes, what's it called again? I've forgotten the name. The T-joiners, gum, all those materials that you get from plumbing materials to connect your water before it gets to where you use your venturi, and now gets to where you now connect your lay flat. All those plumbing materials as well are part of your cost. So at a long run for the installation, we spent over 2.1 million for to set up our installation to the best that it can give us. Okay, now after that, you've done your ridges, you've done your installations, your water flow is okay, it's working fine. Now what are you going to plant on those ridges? Now the cost of those ones are also there. You have your tomato seed. I'll encourage anybody to buy F1. Don't go and say, I want to save cost. I can go and buy tomato and I'll blend it, I'll wash it, and I'll use the seed and go and nurse and plant. You are sitting on a time bomb. You understand? You're just sitting on a time bomb. I'll encourage you, go and get F1 seed. It is expensive, but it will give you what you want. You are in for business, not to manage. And imagine spending over 2 million naira to set up just irrigation, and you now go and now get a seed that you want to wash the seed and start planting. You just want to waste money. So go get F1 seed. And for us, for the capacity we operated on, we got seed of the seed of 180,000 for seed, 180,000 for tomato seed. Of course, you know this project, I said before in that last video, it is tomato and pepper. 5,000 tomato, I had over 10,000 5,000 pepper and over 10,000 tomatoes. Of course, you know that you can't nurse 10,000 seed and get exactly 10,000 seedlings. It's not possible. Some of them will die, some may not germinate, and some will even die when you transplant. So you also put that into consideration when you are buying your seed. So you buy, at least you add some fractions so that even if you have some that did not germinate and some that died after transplanting, you can still do replacement. Of course, you can still do replacement to get the actual number of plants you want to have in your farm. Okay, so we spent 180 getting our F1 seed. All right, now we started nursing. For you to nurse, you also get a potting soil or cocoa pit. These are the things that will help your nursery do well. Don't go and pack sand and say you want to go and nurse it inside you want to nurse it, put your sand and you nurse. It might germinate, it might not germinate. If you know the technique of nursing, it might germinate. I, for one, I know how to nurse on ground, so I can nurse my tomatoes on ground and they'll give me 95% germination. Cool. If you know how to do that, then you might save the cost of getting a potting soil and now nurse on the ground. But as a newbie or someone that understands this business and you want to reduce your risk, get a potting soil. That was what I did. I got potting soil. I also nursed some on the ground as well. If you have been following my videos, you will see when I did my nursing. I nursed some on the ground, I nursed some in the tree as well. So you can get your potting soil depending on the quantity you are using. I got 5 potting soil. As at then, the potting soil were a little bit less in price, but now the price is way higher now. So we got potting soil and also got nursing tray. Nursing tray, 128 cells of nursing tray. That was what I got. There's other nursing tray that's like 200 cells, but the one I use is 128 cells of nursing tray. So we got nursing tray, 1 carton of nursing tray, because I don't want to run out of trays. I can use it at any time and also want to expand my farm, so I have enough. I also keep in store. I didn't use all at once, so you also understand that if you want to use only 1 or 2, you can buy 1 or 2. But me, I've got 1 carton, which is around 120,000 at that time, and also we got potting soil for 120,000 as well for our nursery. So we have our seed, we have our potting soil, we have our nursing tray. Now you can also do a tent. That is also part of your cost, but those ones are costs that can be prorated over years that you can't pay at once. So let me just leave the cost of building a tent for now. So you get your nursing tray, potting soil, and you get your seed and you start nursing. Now, what are the treatments that you need once your seed germinates and you start working? What are the things we got? We have some chemicals for treatment, fungicide, pesticide, insecticides, foliar fertilizers, granular fertilizers, and we also have nematicides as well. So let me not take it too long. I will sum them up. Okay, before I start calling the names of the pesticide, each of them, and start putting their prices. This video may be up to 30 or 40 minutes, and I won't want to bore you with a long story. So let us keep the points going. Okay, so for the fungicide, first of all, we had blue snow, we have red force, we had SAF, we had glory. For fungicide, we also have flash one as well. These are the categories of fungicide we have. You can check them up, and you can also as well the reason why I always advise or always get multiple types of fungicide is because of the active ingredients in each of them, and I don't repeat the same treatment twice. For instance, let me explain. For instance, I treat fungicide with red force this week. The next week I'm treating fungicide, I'm not using red force again. I'll use something else. I use maybe blue snow. I'll use flash one. And the third week I'm treating fungicide again. I'm using something else. Maybe I'm going back to using SAF or using glory. The upper week again, I'll now come back to using red force again. All these fungicide have different active ingredients that those fungi might be resistant to, so you don't repeat the same fungicide. They will grow resistant and it will not be working anymore. So you always interchange so to tackle those fungal attacks properly in your farm. So we had those ones I mentioned: blue snow, red force, flash one, surf, glory, and we spent for that all. We also have cabrodio as well. We spent all that. We spent around 200 and that something thousand, 232 for the fungicide alone. Farming is expensive. I've said it in this video in my channel before. Farming is not cheap. It's a social agricultural myth that people carry about. It is not. So you have to brace up. So we spent that getting those materials. Okay, now we also had pesticide and insecticide as well that we also got: Larafos Gold, Caterpillar Force, Velum Prime for nematodes. We also have Worm Force for nematodes as well. We had Halacat as well. We have Punch as well. All these to be able to control pests attacks in the farm, and we spent over 150,000 getting this material. Remember, I said this cost is unanimous, or it's equivalent to the size of the farm you're operating. Okay, now after that, for pesticide, insecticide, and fungicide, we also look at these are for pest control and fungal attack, to control your bacteria and everything that comes to your farm. Now, what else do you have to consider? We had our feeding. How do you feed your, if some people say feeding tomatoes or plant they shop food, they eat. You feed them because you are taking care of them. You feed them. You have your fertilizers, granular fertilizers. You also have foliar fertilizer that you spray. So what I do in the farm is I feed in two ways. I feed through the leaves and I feed through the stem. So you spray foliar, you also use granular. So you give them to the root, you give them through the leaves as well, so that you will balance your feeding. So for the feeding, we have our NPKs, granular fertilizer, which is NPK 15 15. We also have NPK 20 10 10, and we also have NPK 20 20 20, which is a foliar fertilizer, Agrovat as well. So for the NPKs, because it is a the size of the farm where we are operating on, we got 10 bags, 5 bags of 20 10 10 and 5 bags of 15 15 15. Don't be shocked. We can't finish that in one cycle of production, of course. But we got 10 bags of those fertilizers. We're spending over 400,000 getting, and by the cost of, and what we used is Golden. I don't use any other NPK. What I use is Golden fertilizer. I'm not advertising. No, I'm not advertising. You can get urea. You can get, there are a lot of them that worked in Durama. There's also urea. A lot of them that are very, very active. But for me, I use Golden. Okay, not for adverts. No. So we got 10 bags of NPK, and we also, for the feeding as well, we also got foliar fertilizers like Agrifu, Tecamin flour, Technocare amino carb, and also the Agrovat I talked about. So that is for the foliar fertilizer. Foliar fertilizer will spend around 93 600 to get foliar fertilizers. Now, for the manure, I've talked about the material that we got. The manure that you put in your farm, you also buy it now. It's not free. You buy manure. But where from where I'm operating from, it's actually from a cheaper side. So manure might be expensive based on location. So a bag of 25 kg is sold for 1,000 naira. So for 1,000 naira for wet manure, which is layer from layer pen. Have layer, so it's also always wet. So wet manure, one bag is around 1,000 1,000 naira or thereabout. So you look at it that way, and we use over 300 bags of manure. So calculate it by 1,000 over 300,000 of cost of manure. Okay, just for manure alone. Now for the DAP that you use, for DAP, which are soil conditioners, soil enhancers, we use DAP, we use King Humus to also help in both feeding and also enhance the soil as well. Okay, those are also part of our costs as well. Then the manure as well, also part of the cost. So if you take all these things together, you look at how we got to the point of using 3.5 million to be able to produce that result. So all these things are breakdown, but mind you, we did not finish all these materials. We still have a few of them that are still remaining. So if you do the actual costing of the work, you realize that we did not spend up to that amount, because we have some fertilizers remaining, we have some foliar fertilizer remaining, we have some pesticides, we have some fungicides remaining. Like, we had a good number, a few of them that are still remaining. So if you look at it properly, we did not spend up to that amount. But it's good to have more than having less of your material. It's good to have more materials than having less. So you have more that will cover up for your production, and then when you are about to start the next one, you can just buy and now add up. So we had more of those materials that are still remaining. So we didn't spend up to that amount. Now, something else you have to understand again, the cost of labor. When you start harvesting as well, the cost of labor is still there, because probably you don't have workers that will do the harvesting for. Imagine having 30 baskets in one harvest. You cannot do it alone. So you have laborers doing that work for you. And when we were harvesting, we paid 6,000 per person to harvest in a day. So 6,000 for one person. So we have like 3 people, 3 guys harvesting in the farm. So 6,000 for one of them to harvest. Every harvest 60,000 naira per person. So, and is now also part of the cost for production. That is how we are able to get to using this amount to produce our result. And I'm trying to see if I missed or skipped anything. I'm not sure I did anyone. So this is what we used from beginning, from site clearing to making ridges to doing installations to getting material for nursery and the seed, and also the chemicals for treatments, and also your feeding formulas and feeding materials as well, and also labor for the harvesting as well, that cumulatively add to the cost. But you know the important thing, I also said in the last video, these ridges that you make, that you pay so much money to make, doesn't end in one production. You can use it again to plant another cycle of production again. You can use it like 3 times if you want, depending on how you are able to regulate your soil and also treat your soil. So that ridges are there for you to use. The solution materials for the drips for water system are there for, they will serve you for like 5 years if you maintain them well. So you see that you spend a huge sum in your first production. By the next one, you are spending less because you're just getting few materials to get your business running. I hope you got value watching this video, and I hope I did justice to the people that asked for a full breakdown. If you got value watching this video, make sure you like this video. Also share, please share this video for people to watch and also learn. And don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in my next video. Bye for now.